7 p.m. on a Thursday night, and Sophie Spear is hosting a dinner party at her Mission District house in San Francisco.
It's a pleasure to have people, both of who I know and who I don't know.
It may not look like it, but Sophie is a micro-entrepreneur, playing her part in the local sharing economy, and business is good.
I'm pleased to be able to cook for you. It's not really about the food so much for me as having people join me over my table, so. Although I hope you enjoy the food.
To Chef Sophie. Cheers.
On the guest list, 12 people who went on Feastly, a meal sharing service to find an interesting place to have dinner and meet new people.
Super good.
Each of her guests have paid $52 for a sophisticated home-cooked meal. And while she loves to cook, holding these Feastly dinners serves another purpose as well. It allows her to test out recipes for the cafe she may one day open, as well as make a little cash on the side while she is between jobs.
A majority of these meals are happening in people's homes, and that's typically because that's the space that they have available to them. There's a sacredness about a home that you don't really find in any commercial space that really enables you to connect with the people around you as well as the cook.
After hosting 15 meals on Feastly, Sophie has earned a stellar reputation as a terrific cook and host.
I've really seen my brand explode, and I do have to thank Feastly for that in the sense that it's created this platform for me. They've helped me reach a broader audience, and also with the payment system, it makes it a lot easier for me, a lot smoother for me to manage the meal on a back end.
Meal sharing, car services, house swapping, maker spaces, fashion rentals. The list of companies building businesses based on sharing rather than owning is a trend that is promising to be the future of business.
The crowd is not just creating media and sharing it, they're creating the physical world and sharing it.
We're living through a really, really interesting fundamental shift in which access to talent, goods, and services will trump ownership.
They call it the sharing economy, the collaborative economy, the rental economy, and the mesh. But they all mean essentially the same thing, a new way of doing business, where the traditional buy, sell, own idea changes to an on-demand model, connecting us to the things we need only when we actually need them.
A lot of what the collaborative economy is doing is tapping into this waste of excess capacity. And so there's excess capacity in the form of talent, people who have incredible skills who aren't bringing that forward. But also factories sitting around, cars, space in driveways, extra space on ships for cargo, and also, for example, real estate.
Tristan Pollock saw an opportunity to start a business utilizing the sharing economy every time he walked by an empty retail store.
We saw 1 in 10 stores vacant in the U.S.
His idea, called the Storefront, is a simple platform that connects entrepreneurs with short-term retail space. The site has tons of photos and clear pricing for utilizing locations that would otherwise be empty.
I always explain Storefront as Storefront is a marketplace for artists, designers, and brands to get into short-term retail spaces, because historically you were looking at 5 to 10-year leases, maybe even 20 years. And so being able to rent something from 1 to 2 to 3 days or a couple weeks or a couple months makes a huge difference in how you can strategically plan to grow your business.
So what's the opportunity for entrepreneurs? To turn waste or unutilized assets into cash by sharing. Ahead of the curve was Craigslist, Zipcar, Netflix, and eBay. But the rise of the mobile phone and social media has added an extra level of complexity and opportunity to the equation.
What was okay before to have kind of these things sitting around unused, now it's not okay, either because the people would prefer to have the value, the money from it, or it's kind of increasingly not cool to be kind of hoarding things that have value.
One company that is actually teaching kids to share their toys rather than hoard them is Play. Renan Lockman, like so many parents, knows firsthand the way Legos can take over a household. One set is never enough, and there's always a new, bigger, better, cooler set that your kids yearn for just as soon as they finish building their current one. Enter Play, a Lego sharing company.
It's a Netflix for Lego. We're in a time that people understand Netflix. They understand that you can send a product and get it back, which was not true 10 years ago. So it's not about how many Lego sets that I have. It's about how many Lego sets that I built and what's the enjoyment and my development that I got through this experience of building those Lego sets. We provide the same experience for about 40 to 70% less of spending.
Play offers a novel solution. They box up, sterilize, and count every last piece in a set and send it out to you. After your kids build it and then inevitably forget about it, you return it and get a new one.
In a way that is more convenient. And I think very importantly now, people understand the importance of being eco-friendly, preserving the resources of our world. So reducing waste is a very key component to us and for many, many people.
And while companies like Uber, Lyft, TaskRabbit, and Airbnb have broken through the noise, making headlines for lower prices and better service, they are also the first to go through the growing pains of a new and somewhat unregulated business model that is based on trust.
Roberto Chica says he was trying to do the safe and responsible thing by taking Uber home that night.
To do that and then wake up in the ICU is something that I hope nobody has to go through.
You can't offer this kind of service out into the marketplace, reap all the benefits and profits, and not take responsibility.
In the collaborative economy, trust is a core currency. And I think that it's also fair to say that in any system, once in a while you'll have a bad actor. There are increasing policies, regulations, insurance coverage, things being brought forward by the either regulatory systems, but also by the marketplace themselves in case something happens.
As more sharing businesses emerge, so does the opportunity to create new businesses and renew old ones.
We're very, very early in this shift. And that while many businesses have gotten brand recognition, it's still really early days. And so, for example, for every Airbnb, there's thousands of smaller companies that are taking a specific crack at a market and doing really well.